reciting the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Ron Miller.
Present.
Mayor Franklin.
Here.
Chris Armstrong.
Here.
Approval of minutes from the December 31st, 2013 meeting.
I've read them. I'd make a motion we approve the minutes of the December 31st, 2013 meeting as presented.
Second.
The minutes have been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? Okay, with no discussion, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, it passes on a vote of 3-0. Approval of claims in the amount of $234,708.76. I do have one issue that I wanted to bring up, and that would be on, if we're looking at, if we're counting two sides of the page, 1, 2, 3, it'd be on page 4, about in the middle, Cass Pulaski Community Corrections in the amount of $5,000. That is actually money that we encumbered that's not supposed to be paid until the end of 2014, not the beginning of 2014. It's set up on an annual basis where the payment goes out in December, not in January. So we just sent Cass Pulaski a $5,000 contribution that helps pay for the flowers that you see around town all year. We just sent that on December 5th of 2013, which pays for the flowers for 2014. So I would ask that we pull that check and not reimburse or not pay that at this point in time and reject that claim. And I think I need a second on that.
I'll second that.
Okay, it's been moved and properly seconded to make that one amendment. Is there any other discussion regarding any other amendments to the claims for the Board of Works and Safety for this week? None? I hear none. Okay, so I think we need to go back and first vote on the amendment, and then we'll vote on the claims in its entirety. So it's been amended, or we have before us the question to amend and to reject that $5,000 claim at this point in time, knowing that it will come back in the future. All in favor of striking that $5,000 claim signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. It's amended on a vote of 3-0. Now the claims in its entirety. I've viewed the rest of the claims, and everything appears to be in order and is understood and explained.
That makes the claims 229, 708, 76.
Yes, it does.
I'd make a motion we approve those claims as reviewed.
Second.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second to approve the claims in the amount of $229,708.76. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, passes on a vote of 3-0. Okay, next we have approval of licenses. There are none for consideration. Are there any changes to the agenda? Hearing none. Visitor comments. Any visitor comments? Hearing none. Old business, 812, 814, 18th Street. Sarah Corcoran. Is there anybody here representing Sarah Corcoran? Okay. I assume, and I should never do that, but I assume that this is regarding a code enforcement issue. Code enforcement officer is off after having a surgery, and I really have no explanation of what the issue even is with 812, 814, 18th Street at this time. So I'm going to ask that we table any consideration for 812, 814, 18th Street.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded to table, so it's tabled. Under new business, we have an affidavit and indemnity agreement letter.
Do we have to vote on that table?
No, once we make the motion to table, it's tabled.
Okay.
No, it ends all discussion.
Okay.
Under new business, we have an affidavit and indemnity agreement, letter of credit, J.P. Morgan, promotion, and of J.P. Morgan, and I would ask Carol Sue to explain that.
I'm going to give it back to Chris Gilmer. It has to do with Lexington Road.
What it is in our subdivision ordinance, it's a 3-year maintenance bond, and I think I told Ron it was a performance bond, I meant maintenance bond. And in talking with the mayor and Dan Williams from the Board of Works, the maintenance has been completed, I guess, for lack of better terms.
So it held up.
Right.
The road's holding up, it's not breaking down prematurely.
Right.
And this was a condition of the road construction that it had to hold up for a period of time.
Right, for the subdivision with Walmart.
Right, right. And I understand it, I just wanted it to come from.
And just another issue on that, it was a 3-year letter that was issued in 08, so it actually expired in 11?
It's actually the time that the road is completed, the maintenance from the 3 years started when that road was completed. I'm not sure
so
what that
the
date
letter of
was.
credit has not expired.
It's had expired from the time the road was completed. I don't know what that date is. Do you?
Okay,
Yeah, but it's more than 3 years.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
thank you.
Yeah, and this was a requirement. It's just one of those things that's sort of lost in the transition
Yeah.
between former administration
Right.
and this one, and then
And they
there's
had
been so many
asked-
changes at LEDF
Right.
and all those things. But it's
Right.
one of those things that we finally caught on to and realized it was
Chase
something.
Bank had asked for it.
Yeah, something we had to
didn't know
do,
where-
so.
yeah.
I would make a motion that we approve the affidavit and indemnity agreement as is presented right now.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, pass it on a vote of 3-0. Thank you, Chris. Chief Clark, he has a promotion request.
Morning.
Aye.
Actually, I turned in 2 of them. One of them must have gotten accidentally left out. The other was for Dan Ferris, but we can do that next week or whatever. This one for Joe Nyes is I'm asking that he be moved to the rank of detective. I expanded the detective division by an additional investigator, and I'd like to move his status in accordance with that change.
Is it too early to move that? Is it too early to change? And my question revolves around the latest grant that's still not officially, all the kinks haven't been worked out of it yet. Would this leave your street officers short if we don't get that other grant?
No.
You will not?
No.
All right.
Nope. Can the other one be done now, or does it have to wait until?
I think we should wait and have it.
Wait till now? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Are there any questions for the chief regarding promotion of Joe Nyes?
I have none.
I have none either. I make the motion that we approve the promotion of Joe Nyes to the rank of detective
Second.
effective January 1st, 2014. It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Passes on a vote of 3-0.
In addition, if I may, just for your information, Detective Nyes will be going to a 12-week school. He'll be our polygraph examiner. So that's, I believe, in May when he'll be going to that. So
I like the idea of having a young guy
absolutely,
assume that position. He should be here for a few years, and
absolutely.
it's not like we're going to train somebody and have him retire 4 years from now or something like that.
Right.
So, all right, sounds good.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Under reports, we have reports of building commissioner.
Good morning, everyone. I have submitted my report to you, although rather late. Any questions with that? I can take them. I have no further comments other than what's in the report.
Another good week this week. I appreciate all of your hard work on acquiring the properties of Had a lot of good feedback from that, being proactive, especially in the area the area around the former Trelleborg site. So hopefully we'll be able to do something with that, and I appreciate your looking out for our interests and really kind of spearheading that whole project. So thank you very much. I'd make the motion that we approve the building commissioner's report as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Passes on a vote of 3-0. Code enforcement officer, as I mentioned earlier, is not here, so there is no report. Superintendent of Public Works, Dan Williams.
Good morning.
Good morning. Sorry to wake you from your nap. I know you sort of like Rip Van Winkle. You've been sleeping for the last week or 10 days.
I respectably submit my report for you. For your review, and I'd be glad to answer any questions that you might have if you have time to thumb through it. We have been very busy, as always. I'll start out probably Sunday night, Monday morning. We had no idea what the weather was going to bring to us, the mayor and the fire chief, and I met. We had a plan where if it got worse and worse and worse, that we were going to keep our trucks running 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to keep the main arteries open. We didn't have to do that, but we did have a plan. There was never any time in the 4 days where we had bad snow that any of the main arteries were not passable. And I would like to think, I have no background in snow removal, so it was good that we had a plan, and it was a good plan, and it would have worked. So thanks to Mark and the police department and everybody that came forward and volunteered. There was not, maybe for 3 hours, any street in town that wasn't passable. So.
Did you end up using any of the firefighters as snowplow
No, we
drivers?
didn't, but they were ready every day. Mark would call me and tell me if he had 1 or 2 or 3 there, and they were ready in case one of our guys got sick or anything like that. We were ready for it.
Mm-hmm. I'm not sure.
And the plan, I think, shows up. I mentioned to Dan before the meeting of the areas that I traveled over the last 2 or 3 days. Logansport streets by far were the best maintained through this whole mess. And the people that work there need to be congratulated for their hard work.
Thank you.
It showed.
I'll do that. But it's good that you have the departments coming forward and the mayor volunteering people from other departments to come in and help you out. And it was a good plan. So next time it happens, we won't. We'll be ready. We'll know exactly what to do.
And on top of handling your regular duties, you also help our friends in the county with some of their work as well.
We were in contact with them, and they had a bunch of mechanical problems, and we went in probably close proximity to the city, so we wouldn't get way out to Royal Center or someplace like that. Not that we wouldn't have went if they. The furthest we went was the New Waverly area, but we did assist them probably 36 to 40 hours. We were out plowing, making right down the middle of the road, opening roads that they didn't have time to open.
Good.
And when you worked on Sunday, I know that the snow started Sunday morning at 7 a.m. or so, and it came down pretty quickly, really. Did guys work 12 hours on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought it was extended
And
hours.
you have to give them, and I don't know this, but they tell me that you have to give them 11 hours off. So what we did is rotate a couple of them, and we had myself, foreman, and 2 mechanics. And they would come in, so we always had the trucks out on the streets.
Right.
So there was never any time.
But it was 3 days in a row you did 12-hour shifts.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we also had, we had 3 people at the street department that stayed all night in case something would come in. They were there all night when we pulled our trucks off.
Huh? Good deal. Okay, well, I would make the motion that we approve the report of the Superintendent of Public Works as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? All in favor
Thank you.
signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Pass on a vote of 3-0. Thank you, Dan. Police Chief, you're back.
I did not have a report this week. You'll have
Okay, thank you. Fire Chief, monthly report.
Good morning. I have my December report for review there, just showing all the number of calls and what they were. So if you got any questions. Still no ambulance, by the way.
You've been in contact with them this week? Saw where they wrecked one. It was on the news maybe Monday or Tuesday.
I
Ended up
seen
in a
that. It looked
ditch.
very familiar
That
too.
was ours.
That,
No,
I
they had
believe
a
that
patient
was
in the
one of
back.
ours that is in Cass County, it looked like. But no, it was supposed to be here Tuesday, and I suppose with the storm, we have, I personally, one of the guys that's taking care of the, trying to get the truck certified, has been in contact with them, and whatever, it's going to be delayed a few days, I suppose, but haven't heard anything as of Friday, and was supposed to be here Tuesday, so.
Okay. Well, I make the motion that we approve the fire chief's report as presented.
Second.
Been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, pass on a vote of 3-0. Thank you, Mark. And Parks Administrator, hi, Jan.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I sent to you a copy of the management report that I provide the park board. Does anybody have any questions if you've had a chance to look at it ahead of time? Mostly we've been working at snow removal, and we have shut down, not shut down, but the McHale complex is being closed right now for floor work. We do this annually so that the floor is in A1 shape, so it's being done. We had the ceilings cleaned up, and it's definitely one of our primary facilities that we want to keep in great shape for the public. So anyway, so that's what's going on right now.
Pardon me for not knowing, but it occurred to me last night. I took a drive. I'm not sure if it used to be Parks at one time that cleared the bridges, the sidewalks on the bridges.
Yes, we do.
You still do?
Yes, we
Okay.
do.
And I know you've had a lot.
If they're not, we've had pretty significant breakdown of equipment here.
Have you?
Yeah, our dump truck is down, and so are 2 of our snow blowers. So it's been trying to get things repaired and getting back into working. I haven't noticed whether they've gotten to, they've had some people stuck in places that they shouldn't be. And
I noticed some people walking in the street last night on the bridges because the snow was, obviously, and when the snow plows go by.
They did a really good job from the previous snow. I know they got all those bridges cleared. But we haven't been able to get to them this week like we should have. So.
Okay. I was going to say, you have any idea when we'll try?
We're working on the equipment, so as soon as that equipment is available, we'll get out there and get that done.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I would encourage you to check with Public Works because they have full-time mechanics that maybe will get you back on.
They're actually working on our dump truck too. So.
Okay.
So
It'd be really good to get the sidewalks on the bridges, if nothing else, at least one side of those clean, because like I said, people were walking in the street last night after dark, and the roads are obviously still ice covered, especially the bridges, but it was something that occurred to me, and I meant to ask. I wasn't sure. I knew it used to be Parks that cleaned bridges.
We do all those bridges, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, I would encourage you to work with Public Works and make sure that we get those open as soon as possible. Are there any other questions or any questions for Parks Administrator?
This is a dumb question, but on the golf course, sales taxes were noted in 2013 but not previously.
I'm sorry, what was?
Sales
Well, we just didn't track them before. In the clerk treasurer's office is tracking them for us with it now, so that's the only difference. So the numbers are accurate, but from the previous years, it's just that we didn't track those sales tax. We didn't used to have sales tax for a long time because the golf pro was the one that was always collecting that and taking care of it. We never took care of it, and it's just kind of an evolved thing that we've finally gotten to the point where we're tracking it.
But our sales tax due on rounds of golf?
Not on rounds of golf, but on a cart rental, and then anything you buy in the pro shop or the snack bar. So,
Okay, thanks.
so we had a good year at the golf course. So it wasn't great, but it was good.
Okay, and the bottom line was, did we make about $9,000?
Well, if you're looking at, this doesn't compare the
Expenses, this is just
expenses
receipts.
to
and-
this is just the revenue, so.
Okay,
And the revenue was, it was good compared to the expenses, so we're in good shape.
all right, very good. Thank you very much. I make the motion that we approve the Parks Administrator's report as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and properly seconded. Is there any discussion?
None.
Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, passes on a vote of 3-0. Are there any board member comments?
I have none.
Miscellaneous business, including ADA Section 504 compliance and concerns, or any other matters not already considered? Hearing none, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.